Hey, what's going on, jabronis? It's your boy, Mr. Clutch Cookie, and today I have a new build for you all that I think you're really going to like. This new one is called the Spearhead build. Now, let's not waste any time and get right into it. Quick disclaimer before we get into this, I've only tested this build out on the bugs, not the bots yet. So if you take this on a bot mission, I have no idea how well it will do. But anyways, let's get into our stratagems. First one we're going to take is my bread and butter, the Eagle Airstrike. It can take down light to heavy enemies, blow up bug holes, and get you some breathing room if you really need it. The Eagle Airstrike is great for almost every situation, so I think it is mandatory for all builds, not just this one. The second stratagem we're going to be taking is the Gatling Sentry. Believe it or not, the light enemies are going to be what we're going to struggle with the most. And I'll get into why that is, but having the Gatling Sentry will make it easier on us as we try to take down the massive hordes of bugs while dealing with Bile Titans and the absurd amount of chargers that have been introduced in this new patch. The third stratagem is a bit of a wild card here. I'm going to say go with the Patriot Exosuit. I know some people don't like the exosuits, so bringing a Rocket Sentry is a good replacement, or if you prefer the Emancipator Exosuit over the Patriot, you can take that one too. But in my time playing, I found that it is very easy to run out of ammo with this build. So having the exosuit to call in while a Gatling Sentry covers you can really help you get out of a tight spot while feeling like a badass from Lost Planet. The Patriot exosuit will make a fine addition to the Spearhead build. Our last stratagem is going to be our defining weapon of the build, and it's the Spear. After the latest patch and hotfix, this thing is a boss killer. It might take some getting used to, like finding the sweet spot in distance from a charger to one shot or with a Bile Titan. But if you land a spear just right, it has the ability to one-shot every enemy in the game, as of right now. On top of that, with the recent hotfix, we can now target mission objectives. I cannot tell you how many times I've cleared out an entire Shrieker nest before they even got a single flying monstrosity to come out. Same with the Spore Mushrooms. If you have a clear line of sight, this beast will quickly lock on and blow the abominations to bits. The Spear turns us into the ultimate boss-killing Helldiver and is an absolute joy to use. Now onto our primary weapon. We have some options here. The one I'm going to recommend is the BR-14 Agitator, as it can very easily kill light enemies with 1 or 2 shots. It has the ability to blow the heads off of a Bile or Nursing Spewer, and it shreds Hive Guards and Brood Commanders. But it does run out of ammo pretty quickly. So if that stresses you out, I would recommend taking the Sickle, as it's very hard to run out of ammo in that gun, but it does lower your efficiency at taking out medium enemies, so keep that in mind as we move on to our secondary weapon. Now for your sidearm, we are going to be taking the trusty, all-reliable Grenade Pistol. It's too useful not to bring. With the capability of taking down medium enemies in a pinch and being able to blow up bug holes, it can be a lifesaver in a bad spot. And like I said, it makes it very easy to take down nests when you can run in and one-shot every single hole in sight. Just don't get too close when firing. Now, our grenade is going to be the impact grenade, so that when in the bad position of being out of ammo, or a big group is coming at you and you have no fellow divers or Gatling Sentry to help you out, throwing a couple impact grenades can clear the horde up and making taking down a horde of bugs much easier. You could bring the stun grenades to make taking chargers down a little easier, but the choice is yours. I found that the impacts are more useful, but either of these grenades will work great in this build. And finally, we're on our armor. Now, I chose light armor with the engineering kit to make controlling the agitator a little easier, with having the 30% increase to accuracy when crouched or prone, and having 2 extra grenades that never hurt. On top of that, more than likely, you're going to get caught in a bad spot, and you're going to need to run. Having light armor is very useful, so you can zoom out of there before those filthy bugs can slash you to shreds with their damn sharp. Anyway, another option is any of the Viper Commando armor. The extra weapon handling and melee damage is nice. It can make it easier to aim with the Educator, so you can pick off those sneaky hunters trying to get around you, and being able to punch a bug to save on ammo is also a good plus. So again, like with the grenades, the choice is yours. And that's it. That's the build. Now we're going to get into some extra tips that I think you guys might need to make this build work, but before we get into that, I wanted to really quickly and really nicely ask that if you are enjoying what you're watching, please take 1 second out of your day and go down and click the beautiful subscribe button. It's one quick click for you, but it will make this bug killing guy very happy. Anyway, let's get into the tips. Now, with the Agitator, you're going to need to take short bursts with this gun. Going full auto, most likely you're going to miss more than you'll hit. I like to keep the gun in auto firing mode, but I normally fire 2 to 3 bullets a burst, and saving the spray and pray for any dire situations. Also, try your best to be still and crouch if you can. It will help a ton in control of your weapon, as it does its best to kick and make your accuracy drop. Also, the exosuit. If you do decide to bring it, I normally only bust it out when I see that me or my team is in a tight jam early on in a mission. Since it only has 2 uses, I try to use my first call-in as early as possible, but only when it makes sense. You'll kind of figure it out the more you use it. Save that second call-in for when you're waiting on extraction. But don't forget about that Gatling sentry. It can shred a bug breach. I drop at least one every time a bug breach happens, or when we move in on an objective or a heavy hive. The cooldown is pretty quick, so just try to drop it as much as you can to keep you and your team from getting overrun. But the most important part of this build is the spear. You are the boss killing machine. That is your role on the team. Do not let anyone else tell you different. If you see a Bile Titan way off in the distance coming towards your team, let the spear do its job and one-shot that big boy so your team doesn't need to deal with it later. If you see a patrol that your team cannot avoid with a charger leading the pack, take it down with the spear right away. You will be shocked how many times you can end a fight with tough enemies before it's even started. But like I said earlier, there is a sweet spot to the spear. You don't want to be too close to anything, especially a charger, as the rocket might go right over them. You don't want to be stuck in the thick of things. You want to be a good, democratically safe distance away and take their heads off. And that's about all I can give you guys. This build took me by surprise, and initially I was going to call it the one-man army build, but that seemed a little false because I don't play solo and my random teammates have saved my butt more than once. But I can safely say, if you give this build time and let it cook for you, you will feel like the most powerful Helldiver on your team, as you will save them plenty of times as a charger or Bile Titan is chasing them down, looking to shorten their life expectancy. But what do you guys think? Have you tried this build or something similar? Let me know down in the comments. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click up here to see my heavy gunner build that I made before the patch, because it works way better now than it did before. Now, what are you waiting for? Get down there and spread some managed democracy. But don't forget, it's for the children. Bye guys.